Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Attack Wrap here on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Nick Kennedy. Before we get to our interviews, we're going to jump into the OHL Players of the Week. So this week, the OHL Player of the Week going to Anthony Romani of the North Bay Battalion. Congratulations to Anthony. 5 goals, 1 assist this weekend for 6 total points. You can see 15 points there on the year. Way to go to Anthony. OHL Goalie of the Week going to Braden Gillespie for the second time this season, I believe, of the Guelph Storm. 2 wins and 1.5 goals against average this weekend, along with a .929 save percentage for the weekend. On the season, a .933 with a 1.88 against. So good work there to Braden. And of course, the Owen Sound Attack Player of the Week going to Ethan Burroughs with 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 total points on the weekend, 9 on the season. So great work to Ethan. And speaking of Ethan, we've got him here in studio. Number 29, Ethan Burroughs, joined by number 23, Nico Addy. Gentlemen, welcome, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Well, hey, let's. I just want to jump right into it. Ethan, you know, you played minor hockey. I was watching some of your interview with Ron McLean there, and I thought, you know, why not touch on some of that? And you know, playing minor hockey, Halton Hurricanes, playing with them for so long. What was that experience like, kind of moving into the OHL with so many of those guys from that team?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, obviously, to play with the same minor hockey team like my whole career. It was pretty cool. I pretty much stuck with the same core guys for that whole time, and then obviously making the switch with a couple of the guys there, like Lawson Shirk and Teo Drobeck, we played on the weekend. So it was, you know, obviously way different, but the guys up here made it easy.
Is it, do you feel reminiscent playing against those guys? Like, is there, do you kind of like almost try to compete just a little bit more just to show them like you've improved more than they have, or is there any of that competitiveness there?
Yeah, I'm always pretty competitive, but like when I see like Lawson on the ice or something, you know, I give him maybe an extra rub or something just to, you know, get in his header maybe, but yeah.
Nico, you know, playing with the junior Canadians, having some great success with them last year. Do you ever look forward to playing against some old teammates?
Yeah, for sure. It's always fun to play against old teammates, and there's a couple of them playing in the league right now, so it's always fun to get to the rink and know that you're playing against an old teammate.
Great. I'm wondering, maybe both of you guys can share a little bit about your OHL Cup experience. Of course, Nico getting to hoist that last year. Maybe you want to start. Can you tell us just what is that like, knowing how important of a tournament that is?
Well, obviously it's huge. Seeing all the people in the stands, packed rinks every time, and just getting out there and just knowing that you're under a microscope all the time. It's very different, and you got to play through that, and our team did that really well, and we ended up on top.
Is that a bit of a surreal experience for you, seeing all of those scouts, all of those people there watching such a massively important tournament?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot different, and it's such a big jump going from like major Bantam to minor midget, and just the like I said, the microscope we're under, and it's a whole different experience.
Excellent. You know, Ethan, I know the Halton Hurricanes, when you were playing in that OHL Cup, not necessarily expected to have as much success as they did. What was that like, playing in that tournament with your friends, and of course just knowing how important it is to your futures of hockey?
Yeah, like we were obviously looking forward to it all year. We knew we had a pretty good team, but there's definitely some, you know, solid teams out there, so we had to work hard in that tournament to make it to the quarterfinals. It would have been nice to, you know, get a little bit further, but
Sure.
Just to play with those guys, knowing it's kind of your last chance to really show like the OHL scouts what you're made of, so just kind of putting it all on the line there.
Excellent. Well, you know, Nico, being 16, having played in the OHL Cup last year, coming in now as a rookie, you know, being a tall kid for your age, putting on over 200 pounds, like, is that genetics? Were you born this way and you're just huge, or are you really gifted there in the gym? Do you have a strict routine, diet? You know, when kids look up to you as this tall, sizable player, how can they achieve the kind of things that you've done?
Well, I do have good genetics. My dad played college basketball and my mom played college volleyball. So I have good genetics there, but yeah, I do work hard in the gym, and I try to be strict as much as possible with my diet and working out and everything.
Excellent. Ethan, for you being a slightly shorter player than Nico, not a short player necessarily, but everybody compared to Nico does seem a little bit shorter. How do you stay relevant in a league like this that's just so heavy on the puck that you can even see like Tejas Jordan throwing hits in practice today? Like, you play in a league where that's just par for the course. How did you meet that challenge coming into the league?
I knew it was going to be definitely a big step up physically. I've always kind of been more of a physical player, just trying to, make a spark out there kind of thing. And it's just knowing that you got to go into every battle. Like, you got to work your hardest every single time, or else you're not going to win that many battles. And, obviously throwing some hits here and there, some guys may not expect it from me or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Nico, you've kind of been practicing a lot with Stewart and Cormier and sort of being on a bit of a shutdown checking line. Is that a role that you feel like you are equipped well for? Is that something that you've wanted to be a part of? Is it something that you just kind of found a gap in the team and thought, you know what, I can be really good at this? How did you kind of come into this position?
Well, honestly, coming in, I had a very open mindset, and I knew that I was gonna have to embrace any role that was given to me. So if that's what role they want me to fill in, then I try to do it the best as I can.
Excellent. Ethan, I was watching you in practice, especially when you guys were still practicing at the rec center there, and very cold, different ice surface, and a lot of guys there away at NHL camp, and kind of watching you, just like you were one of the loudest guys on the ice, big smile every time you guys were practicing, and just kind of watching you sort of take some of these young guys and joke with them, have a bit of fun with them. How important is that kind of leadership, especially when you're welcoming in all these 16-year-olds and all of these NHL caliber draft picks are away at camp? Like, how do you lead a team like that?
Yeah, obviously, when those guys are away, you get a little bit more time to spend with the younger guys, and it's just trying to teach them more little things and, making sure it's fun for them and stuff, and yeah, just trying to be more vocal out there than normal, so, yeah.
That makes sense, yeah. Nico, maybe you can answer this for us. Having Ethan as one of the alternate captains on your team, in your opinion, what makes a good alternate captain?
Honestly, just setting a good example for the younger guys and showing us what the right things are to do all the time, and just to build on the habits we built, not build on the habits we built when we were younger, and just improve our flaws, and our captains do a great job showing us that.
Great. And Ethan, maybe you can answer this as well. I mean, being an alternate captain, having a couple others on the team along with the captain, what makes a team, what makes a good leader on a team?
Lots of things. We got a bunch of good leaders in that room, even guys that don't wear A or C. It's just trying to lead by example, I find, is the best. Just working hard every single day, on and off the ice, and just being vocal too. Helping guys out and trying to rally everyone together when we need it. So.
Excellent. I know it was a tough weekend of hockey. Maybe you can sort of speak to that as leadership in that dressing room. How do you approach the guys after, maybe after a bad period where you go down, 3-0, or how do you approach them after a tough loss, maybe a loss to Kitchener or Brantford? After a game like that, how do you go into that room? What are you talking to the guys about?
Yeah, it's especially when you lose earlier in the week. You gotta have kind of that short mindset. You gotta kind of move on. Obviously, you just gotta talk about the little things that we're doing wrong, or just building on some of the good things that we're doing, and it's just talking to everyone, trying to stay positive. You can't get too down on yourself and the team. If that happens, then it's no good for anyone. So just trying to stay positive.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm curious for yourself, having a weekend that, it wasn't the results that you were looking for as far as the team goes, but then yourself having a very productive weekend points-wise, scoring 3 goals, getting an assist, getting like 2 big back-to-back goals there against Brantford. How do you manage your emotions in that moment, like where you're coming out with a really successful personal score line that weekend, but the team not necessarily coming out with the results that you're looking for? How do you lead in that moment, and kind of what's going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, all we're trying to do is win. So whoever's putting numbers on the score sheet, that's all that truly matters. So obviously, we didn't get the wins that we wanted to, and we just got to find a way to, get a few more goals here and there, or, shut it down a bit more kind of thing. So
For sure. Nico, I'm wondering if you want to, being the rookie on the team and, one of many rookies, I think a lot of us would love to hear just kind of the story about how you found out you were getting drafted, your thoughts when you found out it was going to be Owen Sound, and maybe we'll talk about camp a little bit after, but I don't know if you want to speak to that at all.
Yeah. Heading into the draft the week before, it was very chaotic, and phone calls and text messages and everything, and people's advice, and I really had to step back from that and take moments for myself and figure out what I really want to do and where I really want to go. And I knew people in the organization, and I had good connections there, and I just thought that here would be a great spot for me.
Excellent. Going into camp, coming out of camp, like, what was that experience finding out that you did make the team? Did you get a phone call? Was it a in-person meeting? How did you let your folks know that this happened?
Well, my dad was down in Owen Sound for camp, so he was there with me throughout the week, and it was a really hard week. 2 games and a practice every day for the whole week, so it was really tough. And at the end of the week, being told that I'm on the team and we can get this thing started, it was a really good feeling.
Did you guys have a big celebration there before you left town?
No, not really.
No, okay, no. Fair enough. Ethan, playing kind of that second power play position and jumping up into first power play as well, and kind of playing that similar position that Colby will play, where he's kind of loading up those one-timers, and watching you in practice there, kind of on the other end of the ice, you have a very different method about going about it, and yet it's so successful and differently successful. I'm wondering, like, what makes your shot so deadly? Like, you see Colby practicing these one-timers, and he's doing them in game over and over, and you have a very different way of shooting. I'm wondering, how is it so successful? How are you finding the success with the puck?
I think it's just a lot of trust in all the practice I've done. In the summer, I shoot a couple hundred pucks a day. So it's just, trusting my shot and just being able to pick the corners, and kind of just, as time's gone on, you kind of figure out, if you get a pass here, the goalie's going to slide too far, not enough, and you just kind of throw it to whatever side you think it will be there. And it's obviously that extra work in practice too, just trying to pick corners and stuff.
So for all the junior attack watching, your recommendation?
Shoot a lot of pucks.
A lot of pucks, okay.
Yeah.
A few hundred, you got a number? Did you have like a set number you'd aim for?
Well, I used to do, there's like this OMHA 5,000 shot challenge. Okay. I used to do that sometimes, but now I just kind of try and shoot as many pucks as I can in a day. Obviously, whether it's on the ice or I have a pretty good setup in my basement, so I'll just sit down there and shoot 100 pucks or something just to kill some time.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, excellent to hear. Nico, do you have any routines like that? Anything that you feel like you've used to find success with?
Well, yeah, in the summer, I train in Montreal, and there's this empty ice pad that has nets, a shooting pad, and I go on there, shoot around 500 pucks every other day, and I do some stick handling in my basement too to help my shooting and my stick handling.
Excellent. How do you guys, do you find ways to practice things like skating or like, let's say, things that you really can only do either in practice or in game, like finding those passing lanes? Are you able to practice those off ice, or is that one of those things that's just experience is the best teacher?
Yeah, it is harder to practice those off ice in summertime. Maybe rollerblade a bit with your buddies, kind of thing. But Just, to practice some things off ice, stick handling. A lot of guys will have a golf ball and stick handle in the room. That's one of the big ones that you can work on. I find that helps a lot just to, help puck control and whatever. And that, and also watching video. Video is huge. Just being able to learn from, your mistakes or good things, even stuff from other players. So that's huge as well.
Very cool. How about yourself? Anything off ice you do that you feel like helps?
Sort of the same thing as him. Maybe rollerblading, stick handling, shooting whenever you can. And just get as many touches as possible, really.
Excellent. Okay, very cool. So, talking about these passes, Ethan, I see you at the end of practice there, usually helping Colby with his one-timers. And as special as those are to watch him shoot the puck, I'm more interested in what makes a pass a good one-timer pass. Because, I even watching, on the weekend, I know a lot of our viewers are watching the Leafs game and watching Matthew Nyes kind of take a pass from Domi off his right foot and sort of bounce it to his stick and in. I know Domi probably would have liked to get it right on the stick and let him deflect it right away. So, some of these passes, they're great passes. He finds a lane, but a one-timer pass is so specific. It's got to be in such a dialed-in spot. As you're throwing him the puck, like, what are you looking for? How are you judging where the puck needs to go? Do you have like a spot that you're aiming for when you see him winding up?
You're just trying to put it in a general area. Usually guys like it kind of like the middle area, sometimes back foot. It really all depends on the player too. Like, you can kind of pass the Colby. He hits them from a lot of different areas. So, but just looking for, like that back foot to middle area is kind of where I try and look for those one-timer passes.
Excellent. Talking a little bit about practice and seeing just how intense it was today. I mean, you guys were really out there working hard. It looked like, the weekend, and it just kind of wasn't there. It wasn't in the mind. You guys were just powering through and we saw each other, hammering bodies and playing hard and just a new level of intensity. Do you guys feel like that was like in response to the weekend, or is this just like who the Attack are? You guys are grinders, and it doesn't matter what happens, you will come back stronger.
Yeah, obviously we wanted to, have a good practice week here going in. Obviously sucks to lose those 3 games, and you got to create some better practice habits now so that they go into the game. And yeah, it's just competing against each other. If you're not competing hard, you're not going to make each other better. So that's one of the big things that we've been working on.
Mm-hmm. Anything on your end there? Is it are the practices in the OHL, like, do you find them significantly more intense than, let's say, when you're playing with the Toronto Canadiens?
Yeah, well, obviously everyone's battling for a spot, right? And for the people that play less in games, it's in practice that you're going to earn that spot and earn those opportunities. So you can see that guys are really trying to make an impression and make a good one.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, seeing you out there working as hard as you're working, and I was watching, I think it was last week, you guys were practicing power plays and PKs, and Nico, I saw you just kind of like being that high forward on a penalty kill, and having the reach that you do, like you're reaching all the way around a body and still finding a way to knock the puck free and being able to pivot with it and now turn a penalty kill into an offensive chance. Is that something you've always been good at? Have you played the penalty kill often through your career, or is that something that you're kind of finding yourself falling into now as you try to be that kind of player for the Attack?
Well, honestly, I haven't really played a lot of PK in my life, but I've worked on it a lot and watched a lot of videos, and I just try to master my craft a bit and just become good in every situation. So.
Excellent. Watching the practice and kind of, Nico, I see you, and I'm wondering maybe there's something that you can kind of give to all the junior Attack that are watching today. Seeing you kind of get the being right at the front when drills are being showed and explained, and I see you regularly, like, going up and studying these and like looking at the board, asking questions. Is there something to be said about being a student to the game, and what can all the junior Attack and all the kids that are playing hockey, what can they learn from how you approach a practice like that?
Well, honestly, I just try to understand the drill as much as I can so that I know what that drill is for and what to work on during that drill to like get every single bit of that drill and really maximize my time in practice.
Excellent. Ethan, I'm wondering, just as the alternate captain, you guys kind of do these drills, how important is that aspect of communication, and how can maybe somebody who's quieter on a team, like how can they, not saying that you are quieter, sorry, but for those watching the show, how can somebody who may be a quieter player still be able to communicate well while they're on the ice?
I think it's got a lot to do with your work ethic. Just, always, keeping that motor going and just working as hard as possible. I find, guys learn a lot from that. I had Aiden Dude as my first year. That guy never turned off his motor. He was always going. So just learning from guys like that, and you see that, you're like, okay, this is kind of what I need to do. I find that helps a lot.
Right. Nico, how about yourself? How have you improved in your ability to communicate with your team throughout the years?
Well, honestly, I've always been pretty vocal, and I enjoy talking and just getting out there and calling for pucks and making plays happen by communicating and everything clicking. I really enjoy that, so I try to make that happen as much as possible.
Excellent. Nico, I mean, being a rookie, kind of looking for that first point still on the team, and maybe not the start that you had dreamed of, but how do you come in positive? I mean, having to face a couple of games where you're watching the guys play, and how do you go into practice? How do you kind of leave those games still positive, still excited, and what can all of the kids, what can they learn from that?
Well, honestly, I just try to learn as much as I can, right, and just maximize every opportunity I get. If it's watching a certain player from the stands, or if it's watching certain situations develop during a game from the bench, and just doing everything I can to get better, and yeah.
It's not over, right? You might sit a game, but there's still, the opportunity is not gone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. I think one of the moments I liked today, I think from practice the most, was Ethan, watching you kind of go in there on the shootout, and you go glove side off the post and in a great goal, and then Votary shutting the door there on Team White, and watching you guys just celebrate together as a team. I'm wondering, like, is that just one of those things that you find bonds the team? And if so, like, how important is that to your guys' success as a team?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we had some good competition going today, so just, to be able to score that and just kind of rub it in Team White's face felt pretty good. So
yeah, it looked like Sam Sedley was just feeling that one a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was trying to chirp me the entire day, and then as soon as I did that, I was, kind of toned him down a bit.
Yeah, excellent. Is that, like, what was that for you? I mean, being on Team Red today and kind of seeing that win and watching somebody else, like, carry your team to this huge, I mean, all of you guys, of course, battling hard in that drill, being able to force the shootout. What is that like to celebrate somebody else's success?
Well, obviously, it was just in a practice, but just winning and being with all the guys and knowing the guys on the other team too, and being able to have kind of bragging rights on them, it's obviously it's awesome.
You guys rub it in a little bit in the locker room afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Watching these guys, we talked about Tejas dropping big hits, watching Landon and Seds are battling out all practice. It looked like they were just on each other, and it's great to see. Like, are you guys just kind of trying to climb over each other and force everybody to just hit that new level and the whole team get better from it?
Yeah, that's what you're trying to do every practice. You want to make everyone better, so by doing that is just going your hardest, and that's what we were doing today.
Great. We got a break in a couple of minutes here. I just want to ask, coming out of a weekend like this, I see you guys just celebrating with the goalies, celebrating together. I mean, a tough weekend for goalies, right? They faced a lot of shots, quite a few goals going in against Owen Sound. How do you guys come together? Like, is there a special conversation you guys have with goalies after a loss like that, or is it just one of the teammates? It's just nothing like, hey, don't worry about it, we'll get them next time. It's just one of the same.
Yeah, like we obviously got to be a lot better in front of our goalies here, and just to, support them. Just like every other team, maybe we support them even in tough times. So yeah.
Great, Nico. Being a young guy, do you feel like that support? Like it looks like there's so much support for you guys. Like I watch these older players, like Ethan, like all of these other older players that just look like they're so excited to watch you guys play. Like I see them celebrating on your behalf when something great happens in practice, or watching you get a big strip, or Harry with the hands, or Jake with a takedown in front of the net. Like, do you feel a lot of that support from these older guys?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like all the older guys are very approachable, and they're always willing to help us with whatever situation we're in or whatever question we have. So it's obviously great to have that to help us with whatever problems we have.
Excellent. Well, just before we cut to break here, Nico, the one thing I've seen a lot of coaches talk about is they're really encouraging kids to use their speed and crossovers to get by players instead of using a deke as the first option. And today I saw you guys kind of in the half ice drills, and you're using that speed on the 2-on-2s to really get around people. Is that something your coaches have drilled into you throughout the years, or is that just being taller, having the longer legs, that's just the best option for you all the time?
Well, obviously my size helps me a lot with that, just separating myself, like the other player from the puck, and trying to get to the net as much as possible. And I think it's a great way to be effective in the offensive zone.
Ethan, how about you? I mean, of course, watching a couple big goals from you this year where you use that speed to your advantage, do you find that speed is generally a better first option for players to try to get by someone than, trying a fancy TSN top 10 kind of play?
Yeah, I think so. It's a lot harder when you chip the puck around a guy and use your speed to get around him. I find for defending when you're in the D zone, the guys are flying around. It's a lot harder than a guy trying to deke through you. You can usually get a piece of them. So yeah, just trying to use your speed and crossovers to build up momentum and speed around guys I think that's better.
Excellent. So all those kids watching that, I understand the desire to have that top 10 play, but you heard it here from OHL players themselves. Use that speed to your advantage. You don't need to deke every time. Sometimes it's just that raw power that'll get you by someone. We're going to jump into a break, and when we come back, we've got a couple more bits to do here, as well as a trivia question. So make sure you guys get those phones out and ready for right after this break.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Social media giant Meta is blocking access to news in Canada.
Ongoing dispute over the Online News Act.
Less news on your social media feeds.
For up-to-the-minute information, connect with City News anytime, anywhere at citynews.ca.
Questions are being raised.
Or by downloading the City News app.
Breaking news story.
Stay informed with trusted local, national, and international news that matters to you. City News, everywhere.
Baking for Change is coming this fall, and I'm your host, Wendy Pauls. We'll feature some of Canada's best bakers like Jen and Astor, sharing their favorite recipes. And you can bake along with us at home, while supporting refugee youth like Crystal. And the amazing work of UNICEF Canada.
Check for days and times.
On Rogers TV.
Hello, Grey County. I'm your warden, Brian Milne. Want to be the first to know about news, services, and decisions in your community? Watch Grey County Council meetings live from the comfort of your living room, right here on Rogers TV, Grey County.
gentlemen, welcome back to Attack Wrap here on Rogers TV. My name's Nick Kennedy. I'm your host today. Before we jump into a couple of the more fun bits here, we're going to throw to an interview from assistant coach Sean Tickle from this weekend.
All right, Mark McKelvey standing ringside following the Owen Sound Attacks 4-3 loss on this Sunday afternoon against the Kingston Frontenacs, joined by assistant coach Sean Tickle. And coach, obviously a bit of a roller coaster ride of a week for the entire organization, some changes. Let's just reflect here on the 3 games at hand. I mean, from your vantage point, take out the emotions. Just what did you see from your hockey club over the weekend?
Yeah, I think, starting Kitchener, I think it was just a little bit of a blog game, on both sides. And Kitchener just kind of capped on some chances. I felt like yesterday we kind of turned the corner a little bit in the second period. And then today, it's 9 minutes of penalties in the first period, and we didn't get the flow right away. But I thought the last 40 minutes we were the better team. We outchanced them 2-1. We just got to cap on some chances. But, you can see the boys are coming around and trying to figure out, this roller coaster of emotions this week.
Looking at this game here today against the Kingston Frontenacs, I mean, you talked about it, a lot of chances, especially in the second and the third. When they're not going in, I mean, is there just a sense of frustration? Does it almost feel like the guys felt a little snake bitten?
100%. You could see, right, like guys like Kobe, they're double clutching on pucks. Burroughs, Addy, Petrovsky, they're double clutching pucks that they don't usually do that. But it's ebbs and flows, right? They're going to get out of that, and we'll figure this out, and we'll figure this out down the stretch.
I mean, it's a 3-3. It's always tough, but a 3-3 on the heels of a coaching change. Did you just sense there was just, a little uneasiness in the room going into this weekend?
A little bit at first, but like I said, I think they really came around, and surprising today, I thought we had a lot of jump. Like I said to you, I thought we were the better team. You take away those 9 minutes and penalties at the start. It's our game, and I just got to give the credit to the players. They showed up and they worked today and they competed and they showed up. We just didn't get the results we wanted.
Now next Saturday you guys will face the Kitchener Rangers. I mean, you've already faced them 2 times this year. You guys know them pretty well. Is that nice to kind of have that as your next opponent rather than a team you guys aren't as familiar with?
Yeah, and it'll be nice to get a full week of practice underneath, right? Getting after those emotions and stuff like that. So it'll be a long week ahead, but a lot of work to be done.
All right, well, still a lot of runway to go in this season. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
All right, the Attack back in action, 4 p.m. on Saturday against the Kitchener Rangers.
Excellent. Well, you heard it there from Mark. Owen Sound will be back in action on Saturday against Kitchener. In the meantime, we're going to do a bit that we tried a couple weeks ago here with Jake Crawford and Cedric Gaydon, and we'll do it again here. We're going to have you guys actually tape these mini sticks the way you would normally tape your game stick. Whatever you would use in game, we'll have you sign the back, and eventually some lucky fans at the Bayshore there will find a mini stick in their lap there with your tape job and your name on it. So I'll feel free, pick whatever tape you want. We got the flame tape. We talked a little bit about this last week, that this definitely makes your shots harder. So I see kind of starting with white up at the top there. Ethan, have you always done white at the top of your stick, or is there a reason for it?
Not really. It's just a bit easier to, I don't know. I just always use white on the top, really. I used to use some thing called like lizard skin.
Okay.
It was like just kind of like a rubber grip. Baseball players use it, but just kind of switch it up a bit. Usually I just do like, a couple wraparounds like this for a bit, just so it feels good on my hand or whatever.
Sure. So. I know a couple of dads always make the kids use white up top. Just try not to ruin the gloves too quickly. Is that?
Yeah, I guess that could be it too.
Yeah,
that would make sense actually. But I mean, I put grip tape on it usually, so that kind of just rips up the gloves anyways.
Sure. Good question, actually. How many gloves do you normally go through in a game? Are you a frequent switcher, or?
I stick with the same glove the entire time. I just dry it in between periods.
Okay.
I don't like really using a wet glove, so we got like air dryers that we use to kind of make it, not as wet.
Fair enough.
So that's kind of what I do. So.
Nico, I see you kind of opting for the flame tape here, which is a bold choice. I don't know Is there a chance that we ever see that in game or even in practice? Are we going to see flame tape make a debut?
I don't think so, honestly. I just thought it looked cool on the mini stick.
Is there a tactical advantage to it? I mean, do you think that it would be so distracting for a goalie just to, like, all of a sudden, you know, you switch sticks kind of mid-shift or something like that, you're coming in with flame tape, they just don't know what to expect?
No, I don't think. I think the goalie will just think you're weird.
That's fair. That is fair. Ethan, I see you're grabbing a big chunk there. Is that?
We're just getting rid of that.
Oh, just okay. Yeah.
We're starting on a toe.
I think Cedric may be to blame for the half tape there from a couple weeks ago. So you can blame that one on him. And are you both okay? So you're a heel to toe taper.
Yep.
Have you always been a heel to toe?
Yep.
Is there a reason behind it, or just that's what your dad showed you how to do, kind of thing?
I kind of had to teach myself.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't a big hockey guy, so.
Yeah, I guess basketball wouldn't have used a whole lot of hockey tape growing up.
Yeah.
And you know, Ethan being toe to heel, I see you're going you go fairly high up the shaft of your stick. Is there a reason for that?
No, not really. I just kind of I like having a full bladed tape, and then just kind of, I think it just maybe looks a little bit better when it goes up a bit higher like that. Yeah, I think the full tape job, like full blade, helps a lot with controlling the puck or whatever and stuff. So. Okay,
interesting. I mean, you know, seeing, of course, you seem to be one of the masters of the wrist shot there on the team, and kind of pulling that puck from heel to toe. You find you've got more control when it's rolling on tape that whole way.
Yeah, for sure. Like when you get passes from guys, I find it takes off the spin a bit.
Okay.
So it just makes it a bit easier to handle pucks and shot. Yeah, it obviously.
So it's kind of more coming onto the stick for you than leaving the stick.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, and I see you putting a little bit of black Sharpie there on the top. I don't know. Do you want to maybe explain what that is there?
Yeah. So usually I use a puck. Obviously,
sure. Yeah.
I have one today, but I'm more of a black tape. I usually use black tape, but I just started the season with white. I used it all summer, so I've been liking it. But when I look down at my stick, I like looking at black on the top, so it doesn't really blend too much into the ice.
Right.
So that's just kind of a visual thing that I do. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
And on top, you feel is there a reason for the white at all? Like, does that kind of mask the angle of your stick, do you think, or?
Hard to say. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, with the goalie seeing it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of I like to feel like just controlling the puck. I find my puck control might be a bit better with white.
Sure.
So it's just kind of little things like that.
Fair enough. Nico, I mean, you're going pretty all out here on this stick. I mean, all 3 tapes, and was it Phil Kessel, I think, who was famous for just taping all the way down the stick like that?
Yeah, Phil had that candy cane going like Nico's got here. So.
Is this kind of the classic Nico Addy stick for you? We do have scissors there.
Well, honestly, I used to tape my stick like this. I used to use a candy cane, and I kind of stopped, so.
And do you feel like, is it just you found success with it, and so it's more out of habit now?
Yeah. Well, I don't do it anymore, but I used to do it, and it went pretty well. And
this is the stick then that got you into the OHL?
I guess so.
More or less?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys, either of you, are you stick tape waxers? Like, do you wax that stick before the game?
Yeah, I use wax. I use a good amount on there, just kind of lather it up or whatever. I've just always used it. I think it just helps the tape last a bit longer, but
I truly don't know what the tactical advantage to it is. I played with a friend of mine, and he always waxed it, and he was way better than me, so I just started doing it. I don't know if it helps. You said you don't wax your stick.
No, I don't.
Okay, is there a reason for that at all?
I just feel like it makes my blade feel soggy and heavy.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Just a little extra on there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's understandable. Well, gentlemen, I'll let you sign the back of your sticks there. While they are signing their sticks, we're going to give you guys our trivia question for the week. Trivia question being, where did Nico Addy play last season. So before playing in the OHL, make sure you get those phones out. The prize, of course, being tickets to Saturday, October 28th game against the Kitchener Rangers here at the Bayshore. Of course, last game against Kitchener being down in Kitchener, so they'll be up at the Bayshore. You can see there we got Ethan's signature there on his stick. Nico's got his signature on the back. So eventually we'll get those out to some fans at the Bayshore. So make sure you guys are paying attention, and one of these sticks may in fact be yours. Great, those look awesome, guys. I love the flame tape. I don't know. that's something else. I'm wondering, we talked a little bit about gloves. Are you a glove changer? Do you go through multiple pairs in a game, or?
Not really, no. But I do. Hockey gloves are usually tied up to the padded part, and right. I usually cut mine. That's something I do.
Interesting. You like to have kind of a free thumb?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason for that? Just comfortability? Or?
I feel like I can grip the stick more. Sometimes it sucks because you can get slashed there, but
yeah.
I just like to feel better when I cut them.
Okay. So for you, it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily recommending that all the kids watching go out and cut your gloves. Those are expensive. These guys get them CCM, right? You guys you're both CCM gloves. Yeah. All right. Have you used CCM gloves before? Is this the first time you've used them?
Oh, no. Last year my team was sponsored by Bauer, but I still went out and got some CCM gloves, and that's what I use.
It's a little bit of a plug for them then, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not bad. I noticed actually today, a couple of you guys, you were rocking the all blacks. I think you had the red stripe on yours, or were you going all black?
I was the all black there.
Is that intentional, or do you guys just get to pick which ones you want to use?
So I think those are going to be used for like our third jersey, kind of special jersey night. So gotcha. We just got them, so we're just trying to break them in.
Nice, yeah.
I don't really want to use new gloves for a game, so you try and break them in as much as you can right now. So
that makes sense. Do you try to kind of like almost get like holes in them, or are you trying to just get them a little bit more flexible?
Yeah, not necessarily holes, but just try to get them worked in.
Yeah.
They're super stiff. They're not crazy stiff, but they're stiff when they come. So just trying to loosen them up a bit. It's hard to, but you gotta try.
Nico, have you already customized yours? Sorry, with your.
Yeah, I have. As soon as I got them, I cut the thumbs off.
Is it kind of surreal for you seeing your name stitched into your OHL gloves? Did you have that at where you played last season, which of course is our trivia question?
No, I didn't, and I think it's pretty cool. It's just a little touch, and just the professionalism and the treatment that we get from our training staff and our equipment manager. I think it's really cool compared to minor hockey.
Bit of a shout out for Brownie and Stumps there. So those guys seem to take good care of you guys.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Do you, I noticed I was trying to pay really close attention to a little bit of the equipment stuff today. I noticed, Nico, you don't tie your skates all the way up to the top, but also your skates seem to go up a little bit higher up your ankles than some of the other pairs out there.
Yeah.
Is that just like, did you used to have shorter skates and you tied them up to the top, or have you always kind of been a high top, low lace kind of guy?
Well, I actually just started undoing the top lace this summer because I thought it gave me more ankle mobility.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think it helped, and it did help. My skating got a bit better when I did that.
Excellent. So, you find, is it kind of in the crossovers that you're finding that more, or?
Yeah, and just getting to different edges.
Okay.
It's a bit easier if your ankle's a bit more loose.
Right. And Ethan, I think maybe just one eyelet you leave out, or do you go all the way up?
No, I leave one eyelet again. Yeah. Just kind of like that ankle mobility.
Have you done that your whole career, or is that something you found?
Yeah, I kind of started doing it probably in like minor bantam maybe. So when I was like 14 or something. Yeah,
okay.
So I've been doing it for a while now. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, very cool. Actually, we do have a trivia winner here. So congratulations to Crystal Vallis. Sorry. Congratulations, Crystal Vallis. The answer to where did Nico Addy play last year, of course, being the Toronto Junior Canadiens U16 AAA. You can see there 24 points in 33 games, and not to mention an OHL Cup to kind of top all that off. So that must have been a pretty special year for you.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Do you have like some sentimental thoughts about those Habs jerseys a little bit? Being so similar to your U16s. Yeah, for sure. I love the Habs are my favorite NHL team. Okay. So wearing those jerseys and my family liking that team too, getting them to see me wear those jerseys, it was pretty cool. You gonna try to get Seti to send you some things, maybe a jersey of his? Or, yeah, hopefully. He thinks about me at some point. Excellent. Well, guys, we're gonna jump into some highlights from the week, and we'll take a look at the first game. We'll jump into Kitchener. This was a 5-3 loss. I mean, we know that, of course, but Ethan having a big goal there, so we'll throw to this game and we'll come back and talk about them just afterwards.
Barrie, and then that 11-2 win on Sunday afternoon against Windsor. But here comes Cedric Gaindon. Backhands one through. Nice save made by Tristan Malbluff.
Gaindon was leading and taking a little quick look over his left shoulder. Had a recipient for that pass. Couple whacks at it.
Just bounces off his stick. Misljevic. Brandonovsky at the point. Shot came on. Blocked away by George. Here goes coast to coast, left to right. Here's Reed trying to flip it back in the slot. Reed got hit hard by Teos Jordan. Breaks that up. As we said, Nancy looking for his first career OHL goal. Here's Hunter Brustevich. Shot scored! What a shot! What a goal from the Vancouver Canucks prospect.
17th point already this season to take the team lead for the time being. The Rangers able to chip it up ahead for Brustevich, who just elected to shoot it, and
hitting the skates here. Hookie back to Petrovsky. Petrovsky shot, good glove save made by Tristan Malbluff.
Look at that, off the side boards, good passing, electing to shoot there, and
as Petrovsky breaks out, here's Burroughs. Burroughs around his man. Burroughs shot off the post. Cormier got feet off the wall. Last chance here for the attack on the power play. Shot came on from Burroughs. Save made by Malbluff.
And a nice saucer pass, too, to send him loose.
Here is Denny Gore now. He'll try to drive the net. He'll get that chance, but Malbluff will win up this time. Pugliese strips the attack of the puck. Here's Antonino Pugliese. Pugliese for Mercer. Shot scores! Great pass from Pugliese as Mercer finally gets his first of the season.
Gruseg on the goal scoring sheet as he gets a nice backhand pass from Pugliese. He just snaps it by goaltender George. Might have been slightly distracted with the Rangers crashing the net.
As now here is Carson Rakoff. Rakoff, nice move by Rakoff. Rakoff dangle, and what a save made by George.
But then splits the D. This is probably the better of the two moves, and
gets it off here for Colby Barlow. Barlow for Petrovsky. And great back check there from Carson Campbell. As look out, here's a breakaway attempt here for Gaindon. Cedric Gaindon, the dangle. What a save made by Malbluff! Absolutely sensational!
As he had all day to make a move and took every advantage he had to get that shot on, but Malbluff stayed with him the entire way, even after that head fake.
As here's Pugliese gets it off here. Shot from Mercer, save made by George. Rebound, Botno hits the side of the net. Here is Barlow. Off for Sedley, cross-side save made by Malbluff on Denny Gore. And that'll spring Ellenis. Ellenis, nice rush from Ellenis. Ellenis dangles, shot save made by George. He didn't know where it was. Burroughs for Jordan. Nice feed, give and go. Here's Hookie, shot save made, and 2 or 3 whacks on Malbluff. Brustevich was trying to make a pass through the legs there of Sedley, and look out. Here's a shorthanded breakaway for Colby Barlow. It's Barlow, the dangle, the goal. Huge shorthanded goal for Colby Barlow.
On this break, which was well beyond the blue line to start with, and a lot of time to think about it. Digging in, stride for stride, Rangers defender trying to catch up, nothing doing, and
power play just in the dying moments of the second period. Shot from distance. There's Lamb banging away all the Rangers. Loose puck. Hamra hits some traffic in front. Best grind to win this puck back for the Rangers, and does. As Kitchener's here with Reed, shot on, and good glove save made by George. Developing for the Rangers now to Brustevich. Brustevich can't get a shot away, but passes it off to Sup. With 1 second left on the power play.
With his latest tally, keeps it low and pass. Netminder George going low glove slide that time. as he's able to slip it under the pad of the Owen Sound netminder to restore the Rangers' 2-goal lead.
Flips it to Stewart. Now at the point for Rogers. Shot came on. Save made by Melbuff. Rebound. Smith gives it to Crawford and just didn't get all of the shot that time. Try to jam it in, and they do. Just swooping in to get that in the back of the net is Landon Hookie.
There's some quick puck movement. The odd bounce off the end boards and is able just to hook it around that far post for the Owen Sound attack.
Sedley off the puck. Here's Swick. Chance for Reed. Shot and a good glove save. Just toed the line to keep that on sign for Owen Sound. Barlow shot blocked in front by Andonovski, and finally the Rangers clear the zone. Sop will slow it down off to Hunter Brustevich. Now here for Rakoff. Shot! Give him his 10th of the season.
Just 9 here so far this season, and he's already up to an even 10 on that marker right there. Brustevich over to Rakoff, takes his time, settles it down, and wires it.
2 fans on the shot, and that's going to lead to a 3-on-2 developing here for Owen Sound. Here's Gore. Shot, save it, and they bang it in on the rebound.
With 4:15 to go, and just 34 seconds after the Rangers have gone up and restored their 2-goal lead, the Owen Sound attack back within 1.
Face-off men, but nice play by Ellis to poke that free. Getting on, it's Martin. Can he win it back? No. Gained on, throwing his body out there. There's Martin. Here's Sock.
2-goal lead, the Rangers need.
Well, we're back after those highlights. I mean, a tough game, of course, an empty netter there kind of sealing it. Ethan, a big goal there right after a power play goal there from Kitchener. I mean, just driving to the net hard. Is that kind of your style? Like, is that a quintessential Ethan Burroughs goal where it's just nose down right to the net and you're finding a way to tuck that in?
Yeah, it's a lot harder to score from the outside, so just trying to get to like the middle of the ice, and especially around that blue paint is where I find, you can get to the back of the net the best.
I see that with, you overagers that have played in this league for so long. Like, you seem to have this understanding of how to get to the middle better than so many guys do. Do you have like a tip or a key for some of the younger players or some of the fans watching? Like, how do you so powerfully there get to the front of the net? I mean, able to kind of get through the box out from the defender. How are you doing that?
Yeah, it's just kind of playing with your head up, kind of seeing where that defender wants to push you, maybe a spin off or something, just little things like that, just trying to get around them as best as possible. And it's also, you got to put in the work too. Like,
Sure.
They're not going to make it easy for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever feel like goalies are just terrified when they see guys just barreling in on them like that? You ever think about that at all? Do you know about that from any of your goalies? Are they thinking like, man, I hope this guy stops in time?
I feel like they might be thinking about it a bit, but usually, if you run over one of the other team's goalies, you're probably going to get jumped or something.
Sure,
so, the goalies know they're protected.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw the highlights from this game. We don't have enough time to go through all of the highlights this week, but I mean, Ethan potting one there in that game right after a power play goal. Like, I think it was 30-40 seconds after that, getting 2 more in Brantford, or against Brantford rather. It seems like you were finding the times, a good time to score, to just try to keep your team in it. Is there something to be said about like coming the shift after the team before you scores and being able to get one right back and kind of silencing the home crowd there in Kingston a little bit, or in Kitchener rather, being able to get your team back in it against Brantford at home and making a game of it? How much of that is just, really good timing, and how much of that is just like, you find another gear when you have to find it?
Yeah, obviously when you're down by some goals and late in the game, it's obviously, it's desperation. Time you really got to score, and it's also just shift after goals are usually pretty huge, whether they score or we score. You try to build on momentum and the other team's momentum right away, so just little things like that.
Great. I'm wondering for you guys, like, how do you approach a team? We're taking you can see the goals there, and great goal there, first one there against Brantford. Being down 4-0, right? How do you approach that as an alternate captain? As a rookie, how are you what are you guys talking about on the bench? What's the atmosphere of the team in those moments?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously tough. You never want to be down 4-0, but just you just got to keep plucking away, and eventually things are gonna go in. So you just got to keep working and obviously put it all on the line to try and make a comeback.
Absolutely, we can see here the next goal. A little bit of Dangle's right backhand over the shoulder. That one was that was a nice goal. You know, one of those ones looks like you just outworked 3 guys, able to tuck it in. I mean, a whole team effort there of everybody just kind of finding their man. It looks like, getting that first goal, it just seems to jumpstart the team. And, I like what you said, Ethan. Just, you can't ever count your team out. You can't play like the game is over. And I think you showed a lot of fans here, especially all the young fans watching that want to be in your position one day as well. You just got to keep playing. Got to find your stride, and that's great. So I appreciate you kind of going through that. Nico, I mean, of course, a tough weekend. What kind of role does a rookie play when the team is down by 4, when a team comes off an 0-3 kind of weekend? Do you speak up at all, like as a rookie, or are you kind of looking to the leadership of the guys in the room?
Well, honestly, you got to look at the leadership and who the coaches, not who the leaders are in the room, and you kind of know your place, and you just got to be there when the team needs you and kind of learn and look at what other guys do, because, yeah.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. I mean, it's been a pleasure having you guys on the show. I know it's always tough doing a media appearance after a weekend that doesn't quite go the way you want the weekend to go hockey-wise, but we really appreciate you guys carving out the time to come here and chat with us. Thanks for giving us a little look into the stick taping routine and abilities of an OHL player. We appreciate that. We will be back on the show next week with a new pair of players, and Owen Sound will be back in action this weekend at the Bay Shore, I believe. Kitchener coming to town. You guys looking forward to playing Kitchener again and getting a little bit of revenge for that one game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, always a good game playing guys in the conference. So you can see there Saturday, October 28th at home. The following day, Sunday in Oshawa. Wednesday the next week, home in Flint. And then Friday in Sarnia. And then, of course, London coming to town, trying to get a little bit of revenge on last year's playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Attack Wrap here on Rogers TV. Thank you to Nico Addy, Ethan Burroughs for joining us. We will be back in action next week after a couple more Attack games. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations to Valerie for winning our trivia contest, and we'll see you next week.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, we encourage Canadians to pause and remember all that veterans have sacrificed for us, lest we forget.
Tuesdays on City TV.
We find missing people who have slipped through the cracks, and we bring them home.
We need to talk about how you figured out this location before us cops.